Okay, what I'd like to show is the sandbag here and a couple of these mallets. Now when we want to do some serious shaping on the metal, we'll take a heavy mallet like this one here, or like this torpedo mallet like this, and we'll want to work it on a bag. And we want to actually rough the shape into the metal. Now, I used to do this a lot, and then my elbow started talking to me in very serious tones, and it started to say, Kent, I got to get your attention here because I'm not going to last too long doing this kind of work. Then I realized what I ought to do is create a die for the air hammer that did this work for me. So what I did was I came up with what I call a roughing head. This is the roughing head and the lower die. And what you've seen here is the application of the hammer into the bag. The way it works in the air hammer is it goes the other way. The roughing die comes down on top of it. So we're going to set the roughing die up, and because this guy here is pretty, well, he isn't actually long enough with this medium air unit, we need to use the riser. I'm going to put the 20 gauge in here with the roughing head and that high crown lower die, and I've got enough room to pass it around in here pretty well. And then we're going to bring the air pressure up. Now this is where you're going to want to see more power, and this is where you may want to see a heavier air unit to do this application on thicker metals or harder metals. Now what I'd like to show you is the amount at which it's raised up. It's come up, half an inch, going on 5/8. And what I do is I make a series of passes, and I make each pass next to the previous one. I don't jump around randomly. It's all done in a progression. And this stretches the metal very evenly, very nicely. You can use a little bit of oil with this process. It works real well. And this die is rebuildable, replaceable parts, stuff like that. So this comes up very, very well.